Hello, my name is Kehinde Adegoke, otherwise known as Kenny Crown. I'm a writer, host, speaker, liberation, and intentional lifestyle coach. And you are welcome to Monday Motivation. On this platform, we motivate you, inspire you, propelling you to action, liberating you from just living into intentional living. And if this is your first time coming across our videos, please subscribe, like, share, follow us. This might just be an answer to someone else's prayers. So what are we talking about today? So today is going to be an answer to the questions that I got last week. Thank you everyone for reaching out to me. Oh my wow. Thank you all so much. Thank you for your contributions and thank you for your questions. So of all the questions that I received last week, I will be answering this one questions because I feel that it summarizes all the questions that I received. And that question that I'll be answering to today is, putting an action is not easy. I am not saying that putting an action is easy. I am just liberating you from setting things in motion, leaving it there, rather than working on it. What is the action that will lead to your desired outcome? When I say that is not just words, it is putting an action to it. I mean every bit of that word. And I'm saying that from the place of liberating you from just setting things in motion and having action or putting an action to it. So what am I trying to say? Action is a type of behavior that would deliver an outcome. So what do I mean by that? I started Monday Motivation last year by the leading of the Holy Spirit. And it has been a wonderful journey, I must say. Sometimes it falls on the day that I'm going to be at work. And how am I supposed to do this? Then what I do is I decide, because I have this passion, I understand my purpose, I know what is required of me, and I am not ready to only do it when it's pleasing. I am ready to put in some sacrifice because I know that some people depend on it. Just one person or multitude of people need to feed on that particular video that I am failing to put out. If I decide to give in to excuses to say, well, I have a genuine excuse, I'm at work, or I'm busy with my children, or I have coaching calls, or I have other things to do, then I refuse to put out those videos. Then there is a bit of me that will be left unsatisfied. There is something in me that will just be unrest because I know why I am doing this. I am doing this for you. I am doing this so that you can be able to stand up, to jump up from where you are, to be able to say that, no, I know what I'm doing. I know why I am doing this, which is very, very important. If you're doing something for no reason, then you would not feel anything if you do not do it. But if you have a purpose at which you're doing something, it propels you to do even more. Because I love to do this, sometimes I have to spare my lunch break to make the video. Sometimes I have to spend 10 minutes out of my alone time so that I can put up the videos. Gradually, I began to think, why do I have to keep taking excuses? If I truly love this, then I can decide to do it when I'm off, when I know that it's not going to clash with other things. Then I began to wear my thinking caps. But there are sometimes that everything seems busy. I could wake up in the middle of the night just to shoot a video because I know that that video needs to come out. And that is the action I'm talking about. And that is why last week I lay emphasis on sacrifice. When it comes to a place of purpose, you must be willing to sacrifice something. Remember, there is a purpose at which God created us. That is why God was willing to sacrifice His only Son, so that that purpose can be accomplished, so that the reason why He has created us, we can be reconciled to Him. In as much as we want to fulfill all this that has been said, in as much as we are eager, we are passionate about what we do, in as much as we're ready to set them in motion, but we can only get those outcomes when we are willing to sacrifice for it. When you're setting them in motion is when you're getting everything ready. You want to make a video, you have your cameras, you have your lighting, you have everything that you need. But did you actually sit down or stand up to make that video? That's the action being put towards it, because you know that that action is going to yield the outcome that you desire. I'm not saying that the journey of action is easy. I'm just saying that as much as you're putting effort into setting everything in motion, you can as well put the same effort into putting an action towards it, so that you can be able to get the desired result. What is the essence of you having a solution and not finding a way for the solution to get to the person who needs it? It is just you having it. It is just emotion. It's just a thought. It's just an idea, but it has not actually affected someone in a positive way. It is very important for you to put an action to it. And if you find it difficult, I also spoke about accountability partners. You might need to find people who are firm, who will always remind you, encourage you of what you've set in motion, of those things that you want to do, of those things that you desire. These people can even point fingers to where you can find a solution. Maybe you're just stuck because of just one thing or because of just one thought. Those people will be able to help you crash those things down, and you can begin to put an action towards those set goals. Sometimes you might just even be looking for, what channel am I going to use to disseminate this information that I have. But when you're able to speak to some people, that's why we've got coaches. They'll be able to coach you in the right direction, in the way at which to go, so that you won't be stuck with the solution that you have. You won't be stuck with the information that you have, but you'll be able to disseminate those information to the right people using the right channel. So it is not easy. Putting an action to something is not easy. It's just like someone who wants to learn how to drive. You can't just wake up one morning, going into the car, starting the car, and start driving the car without learning how to do it. Even if you want to teach yourself, you know that you still have to make some mistakes because you don't know it. You have no idea about it. But take, for instance, you have a driving instructor, someone sat beside you, someone telling you, turn to the other side. Okay, this is how you apply your brake. This is how you apply your accelerator. This is how you use your gear. This is how you use your steering. This is how you park. This is how you turn. You know that you're working on the outcome that you get. And the final day, when you write your exams, you pass your exams, you know that that goal has been achieved, which is what it requires. But let me remind you something. While you were going through the driving process, while you were going through the learning process, sometimes it may feel difficult. Sometimes you may even feel like, I cannot even remember what I did last week. Sometimes it feels like the informations were just too much. Sometimes it might be overwhelming. Sometimes you might not even want to get up. Sometimes you might feel the pressure of ringing your instructor, telling your instructor, I'm not available today. It's not because you don't want to do it. It's just because at that particular point in time, you're just tired, or you just don't feel like doing it. But remembering what your goals are, what you've set in motion, what you wish to accomplish, the outcome that you deserve, those will be the drive. And that is why I'm telling you, that is why I'm propelling you. And I'm not saying that it's easy, but I'm saying that you will be able to sacrifice for it. I'm saying that you'll be able to endure what the process looks like, so that you can get the outcome that you desire. It is not just about the words, it's about putting an action to it. Knowing fully well that every lesson that you are learning while you are enduring, is going to lead to a desirable outcome. So don't stop. So I'm going to give you 2 practical ways of moving from motion to action. The first one is set a schedule for your actions. So take, for instance, you're trying to write a book. You can set a schedule for yourself for an hour every day, probably after your tea time. You know that that's what you're going to do. If you've tried it consecutively for 2 weeks, you find yourself being in a default mood that you have to do it, or it feels like something is missing. I'm supposed to be doing something at this particular point in time, but it takes sacrifice, it takes consistency, it takes determination to be able to follow the schedule that you have set in place for yourself. And the second one is pick a date. So right now, you may want to think, why do I have to pick a date? Yes, you have to. And I will say that one of those things that could delay you from motion to action is when you procrastinate, or when you give yourself too much time. So instead of thinking about a long time, why not just start tomorrow at 7 o'clock and just see how that works? And trust me, before you know it, you will start that first chapter of your very book, or you will start that coaching call that will lead you to that place that you're going, or you start drafting them out on what you need to do first. And whatever you need to do first, it has to be something that you can actually achieve at that point in time. Don't start with a big goal that if you don't achieve it at that point in time, it just totally discourages you. So start with something small. By the time you just start that and take that off your box, you'll be happy and you'll be encouraged to go to the next step. And that is how you put your words into action. Just start right now. You've been journaling for a long time. It is time to bring those things that you've written down to action. It is time to start working on it right now. And then as you remember, you update your journal and then you continue. Like I said last week, it is not just about the words. It is not just about the passion. It is not just about what you've dreamt about and what you want to do. It is now you doing those things so that you can get the outcome that you desire. See you again next week, and don't stop acting on your dreams. Bye now.